Hey AJ,
How are you,
I
sir?
never I never gave you props for that music. That's some good stuff.
Becca
I
picked the
just
music.
what?
Becca picked the music.
Oh, she picked it. Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
Becca and Ruth Ellen made the
I kind of like that. That's got a little swag to it. It
better than our
does.
Root Not Fruit song.
What's the well? You always changing that.
That is
You never
true.
did give me a Barry White.
One of these days we
I
will
wanted a Barry White, root
get
not
the
fruit.
Barry White version
Okay, all
of
right.
Root Not Fruit. Now we were supposed to have a special guest on tonight.
Who's that?
There's a gentleman whose client is dealing with some blood sugar issues, and he was supposed to be on tonight, but I guess we got our signals crossed, and he is not
Is
with us
is it
tonight.
just blood sugar issues, or do you have other stuff too?
I could read the whole
Did I
thing.
send you that article? I meant to send it to you if I didn't. And we got to start doing some of these articles here.
We can do one tonight.
All right, look. Well, I mean, we want to do a presentation, don't we?
We will do.
Actually, even before we do that, let's talk about a little housekeeping stuff. Some of the stuff we've been up to.
I wanted to do that second, but it's up to you.
Yeah, let's do it first. Then we'll get into this thing I want to talk to you about metabolic syndrome.
Okay, so folks, Pharmacist Ben has been spending countless hours putting together a forum where you will be able to learn some of the things that he's been teaching us in pieces and have it in a cohesive course
Compilation, like a compilation.
and a compilation. But it's just not just a compilation, because a compilation kind of indicates it's old material compiled,
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. This is
where
all new
this
stuff.
this is all freshly made, never seen before material
Yeah.
that Pharmacist Ben has compiled. And in addition, in the future, we will also have, so this is a work in progress. Uh, we will also have different tools and a place where you can use the voice of Pharmacist Ben to answer questions for yourselves, your family, and your clients. We'll also have a tool that can analyze your food diary. All of these things are built, but will be added to our site, which you can access for, which I didn't tell you, Pharmacist Ben, for a discount this week only. So the normal price will probably be $20 a month, but you'll be able to access it this week and this week only for, I'm going to show it, uh, for $10 a month. And Ruth Ellen, if you want to give them the link so they can see it, this is the Pharmacist Ben's Academy, may be renamed. And as you can see, it is $10 a month. I think I'm going to change that now, just for the time that we're on the show. I'm going to change that to $5 a month.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
That's a heck of a lot of good stuff for $5 a month.
for right now, you can join for $5 a month, and the yearly price, I'm going to make that $50.
AJ.
You want to get it for the year, but only during this broadcast. It will be $20 a month. It will be $10 a month until Friday, and then after Friday, it will be the normal price. So as you can see here, and then as you can come into the classroom, these modules are being built out, and we can look at one of the modules here, our favorite, the triangle of disease.
In working with patients in clinical settings as a pharmacist and in speaking with large groups of people in presentations and on the...
So you'll have access to
Did you clear out my
pharmacists.
flubs? Did you clear out my flubs?
Yes, of course.
Good. Okay, thank you.
And you will have access to that. And again, only during this broadcast. And this broadcast, some folks will be watching this tomorrow. So it will be modified after tomorrow. It will be modified within 24 hours. It will be modified to $10 a month, and then it will on Friday revert to the main price of $20 a month. And
by the way, AJ and everybody listening, all 10 people or 13 people listening here, and people listening in the future, I did the content, but AJ put the thing together. And let me tell you something, that the content is nothing compared to what AJ put together. So props to you, AJ Joseph.
well, you know what? You know what,
Yeah,
Pharmacist Ben?
you did an amazing job with it. I'm really super impressed.
I can do an amazing job only because of your years of knowledge that you've shared.
I appreciate it. We're a good team. We're a good team. But what you put together, no lies, it's awe-inspiring. You are a true savant genius at this. It's so impressive, AJ. So impressive.
Ruth Ellen, do you agree with him?
No, it's really,
if
listen,
Ruth Ellen agrees, then
I know I say it all the time. Everybody, this is one amazing human being right here. AJ, one amazing human being.
Sitting next to a couple other
you're blushing. You're turning red. No, you're not.
Am I turning red? Everybody, I am blushing. So speaking of blushing and blood, how do we keep our blood sugar?
Well, before we get to that, I want to read something real quick. Yes, that's a good question. This is from Dermatology Advisor, one of the journals I subscribe to. Metabolic syndrome linked to risk for excessive scarring. So why did I find that interesting? First of all, excessive scarring means like if you cut yourself and it doesn't, usually when you cut yourself, it heals. But if you cut yourself and it doesn't heal all the time, once in a while, it's a scar. But if it happens a lot, excessive scarring, right? Sometimes you'll get a cut and you get a keloid. Or sometimes you get a cut and
I was just going to ask you.
Right, that's a keloid. Exactly. Keloid is a very dramatic example of a poorly balanced healing. Healing of tissue is very interesting. It's a balance between growth and not growth. You can't have too much growth. You can't have not enough growth. It's a Goldilocks thing. It has to be just right. A keloid is when collagen overgrows. And it's linked to a lot of things, but metabolic syndrome is one of them for sure, because metabolic syndrome is linked to everything. And that's what my point was. So this came out in Dermatology Advisor, metabolic syndrome linked to scarring, excessive scarring. I threw in keloids and also hyperpigmentation because they're also involved, although it's not in the article. But here's my point. Metabolic syndrome is everything. Everything can be metabolic syndrome. There's not a single health challenge that's not linked to metabolic syndrome. Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and autoimmune and cancer and cardiovascular and whatever, hypothyroidism and adrenal issues. They're all metabolic syndrome. It's everything syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is everything syndrome. So that's why when I saw this article, I'm like, duh. If it's a problem, it's going to be linked to metabolic syndrome. So, the one exception is if you have a food allergy or something like that, that's the first point in the triangle disease. So that can precede metabolic syndrome, but metabolic syndrome can affect the digestive system too. So we got to stop overthinking. We've got to stop overthinking this. It's very simple. It's not easy. It's not easy because you got to change your life, but it's simple. Digestion, blood sugar. Digestion, blood sugar. Digestion, blood sugar, and throw in the mighty 90. It's really that simple. Heart disease, cancer, Parkinson's, autoimmune, blah, 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 on and on and on. I've been doing this for 40 years, people. I've seen it over and over and over again. And it's just, I don't know if there's a resistance to hearing it or it's not complicated. It's certainly not anything you got to be a rocket scientist for. In fact, it's seeing patterns. It's seeing patterns. It's not like you have to know minutia and memorize things.
Pharmacist Ben, when I called you yesterday and you were eating something and I said, can't be carrots because it sounded too savory. And you said, yeah, it's carrots. People aren't going to chow down on carrots. And
let me tell you something about carrots. Let me tell you something. A bag of carrots is amazing. Let me tell you why. First of all, some people have problems with carrots. You got to be careful there. But you don't have problems with carrots. They're crunchy. They're sweet. They're filling. They're healthy. They come in a bag. You don't have to cook them. You just rip open the thing and there's little carrots, little baby carrots. They're so amazing. It's like they got plenty of sugar. They're sweet. and they're so good for you, and they're so crunchy. It's just great. This is nothing.
But they don't advertise. They don't advertise carrots on TV with dramatic.
Yeah, you don't have cartoon characters for carrots telling you about.
You got one.
Is there a cartoon carrot?
Bugs Bunny.
Oh no, that's right. But the carrot, there's no cartoon carrot. That's right, Bugs Bunny. I forgot about Bugs Bunny. Yeah, Bugs Bunny. I'm a fan of Bugs Bunny, I have to say.
Well,
I like that.
Right. Okay, so
that they had that running gag where they tunnel underground and then they pop up in the cave, and he goes, "I knew I should have made a left in Albuquerque."
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That's how I sometimes feel on like in the world. I'm like, I knew I should have made a left somewhere. How did I end up on this crazy planet? I knew I should have made a left in Albuquerque.
Yeah, absolutely. Pharmacist Ben.
Yeah.
So just just for the sake of our folks, I just want to read this little letter that came from Desmond's for Desmond.
For Desmond?
Desmond is a distributor, but this is for his client.
Mm-hmm.
And Becca apparently gave a protocol to him. That do you hear that ching ching?
No.
Okay, I hear it. I don't know if anybody else hears, but people are joining.
People are joining what?
Ben's Academy.
They're joining Ben's Academy?
Yeah, 2 people joined since we've been on.
Bravo. Get names. I want to give them a personal call.
Okay.
I'm going to call them personally. I'm going to shout out to them myself. It's good, though. I mean, I haven't seen the site yet.
Stephen LaScala.
Hey, Stephen. AJ, what is the site? What's the website?
So it's in the link that Ruth Ellen just shared.
Okay.
We're gonna put a personalized domain name by Friday, so that people can just go to that domain name.
I see. We don't have a domain name yet. We got to think of one.
Yeah, we got to think of a good domain name. And Bruce, our guy Bruce, who I thought was already a member, but thank you, Bruce, and thank you, Stephen. And Stephen, in the forum there in the community, put your phone number so that we can give you get you a personal call for being the second person who signed up, and we can address any questions that you have directly. And again, we are still building out the site. We appreciate you joining and making that leap of faith with us.
How can I'm trying to click on the link. I can't click on it.
Okay, so you can in the chat section on the side.
I'm in the chat section, and every time I click on it, it disappears. Every time I hover over it.
I'll send you the link.
Send me the link by email.
Yeah, I'll send you the
email
link.
me the link.
Okay, I will email you.
I should see it, shouldn't I?
You should see
I did flub up a lot, though. I want to make sure that it's kind of embarrassing.
No, there are no flubs in your presentation. And let me just send this to you. Pardon me, folks. I just do really want to get this out. So Desmond's Becca helped him with the protocol.
Yeah.
So Desmond is the actual individual.
Okay.
Lee is the distributor.
Okay.
And it says, Becca, thank you for building a protocol about a month ago for building muscle and controlling blood sugar. We've been talking about his fasting numbers and A1C, which I can imagine is going to be off the charts. He has almost 200 milligrams of sugar every morning just to get his blood sugar levels up in the proper range. I said to him, we have to work on your metabolic disorder, including insulin resistance and blood sugar stabilization, before even thinking about building muscle. I asked Desmond, would he be willing to come on the podcast? Oh, he wanted to come on Friday.
How old is Desmond?
I don't have his age.
Is he an old? We don't have any idea how, because he's, it's different if he's a kid or he's an older person. So he's having problems building muscle.
He's a coworker. I'm going to assume he's at least 40.
And he's having problem building muscle?
He's having problem building muscle, and he's got low blood sugar, apparently.
These are all very bad signs for a 40-year-old. These are just. Oh, he's going to be 50?
Could be 50. I don't know how.
Okay. So that makes a difference because it's still bad. But if it's a 40-year-old, it's way worse. That's a guy who's, if he's 40, indeed, if you were, I know we don't know, but if you were, he would be setting himself up for some serious problems, even at 50. Anabolism, the building process, is a marker for good health. Anabolism. So there's two processes that are happening in the body. I know we talked about before. There's two processes that are happening in the body. This should be a module, by the way.
Anabolism and catabolism?
Yeah, anabolism, catabolism, right? Anabolism is building, catabolism is breaking down. Now, breaking down is important because that's how you get energy. But you want to have more building than breaking down. Anabolism is the building, you're in the black. Catabolism is the spending, you're in the red. You need to spend. You need to, that's how you get energy, is by breaking down things. And there's also an out with the old, in with the new sort of thing that the body does. It wants always fresh stuff happening. So catabolism is important, but you just don't want to have you don't want to be net catabolic. You want to be net anabolic, yes.
If you're building a society and you have to break up rocks to, build buildings, you want to be net building buildings.
Yes.
You don't have a society.
Yes. You want to be net build. Exactly. And so as we age, guess what happens? We become net catabolic. And catabolism is accelerated by leaky gut, by metabolic syndrome, by inflammation, by toxicity, by drugs, all the bad stuff. Fried oils, fast food, all the bad stuff. Sedentary lifestyle, smoking, drinking. That's what puts us into a catabolic state. And anabolism plus catabolism equals metabolism. So metabolic syndrome is an anabolic catabolic issue. Are you with me?
Yes.
Makes sense? So metabolic syndrome, which used to be called syndrome X, and some people call it insulin resistance syndrome, is an issue of building and breaking down. You're not, and by the way, you don't want to overbuild. You got to build. That's like we were saying with the keloids. You can't overbuild. You don't want cells dividing too rapidly. There's a sweet spot, and they're supposed to be responsive. So they build when they're supposed to build. They stop building when they're not supposed to build. This is like Intelligence. Once we muck up the system, it's like computer chips. Computer chips are information processors, right? Mm-hmm. They process information. They modify information. Every one of your cells is a computer chip. Every one of your, check this out, AJ. This is so ridiculously amazing. I got to pause. It's just so mind blowing.
Okay, so please just remind yourself not to turn this into church.
You got a cell. A cell is a little blob. And we got to get that through our head because there's this mindset or this idea that it's a circle on the blackboard. It's not a circle on the blackboard. It's a blob, like a bloop of jelly. Jelly, literally a type of jelly. A blob of jelly, but it's invisible. So it's an invisible blob of jelly. That's what a cell is. But it's way bigger than that, though. The cell is packed, jam-packed, squoze-packed with substances, structures, skeletons, compartments that are constantly rearranging and shape-shifting themselves. There's in the blob, this microscopic blob of jelly in the center of it. You have long feet, 6 feet of DNA in this little wrapped around. What? You have in this blob of jelly, microscopic.
In one cell, you got 6 feet?
6 feet in this microscope. It's just beyond the beyond. And in this blob of jelly, this tiny little blob of jelly that's packed, jam-packed, embedded with all of these components, there are transistors. Millions of transistors. Millions in this transistors passing current in information and gates and like pulses. What? And you have in one body 100 trillion of these things. What? What? You know, how do you get your mind around this? You know, and we go around oblivious to this amazingness. That's, I mean, every time I think of it, it just blows my mind. When I first heard it, I told you, I've said this before, I just wanted to just get on my knees and just praise Jesus and God and whatever that this is happening. It's just the most amazing.
We got all this amazingness going on, and we eat Taco Bell.
And Taco Bell. Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And we don't respect it. We don't honor the system because nobody tells us this. Nobody tells us. In fact, it's the opposite. We're intimidated. What I just said, that stuff I just said, that's biology. That's actually physics and biology. They call it digital physics, or no, I forgot what the term is. All the stuff, by the way, the cell and with all the transistors, that's known as wetware. Have you heard of this term, wetware? We are wetware. You know, you have hardware, firmware, software. Humans are wetware. We're computers we're nested computers. Computers upon within computers, within computers, within computers. Listen, this is mind-blowing. And all you have to do is give it the mighty 90 and, you know, don't smoke and exercise and move your body and, you know, activate the parasympathetic nervous system. There's a few basic things you have to do. That's all. You don't have to run the thing. And what we call good living is reduced down to every one of the cells of the body. And every one of the cells of the body benefit from what we call good living. That's all. Just good living. And that's what we're talking about here every day, every Monday and every Friday, and I'm sure on other days when you're with other people, we're talking about good living. Just how to live, how to have a good life, how to live good.
Pharmacist Ben?
Yes.
So since the show started, we have new members, the Pharmacist Ben Academy, Bruce Gutierrez.
Okay, Bruce.
Stephen LaScala.
Stephen, shout out.
Joan Broderick, who I believe is a distributor and coach.
Now, is this ready for prime time? Are we ready for prime time here?
Well, I did inform the folks that they're getting in very early.
You're getting in early.
And then it will be more up tonight.
There's good stuff, and we're going to constantly add stuff, right, AJ?
We will, but it will be ready for prime time Friday. That's why the price is going up Friday.
Okay.
Sylvia Hinckley Dye, or Sylvia, I'm not going to give the last names. Kenneth and Linda, welcome all of you to Pharmacist Ben's Academy.
When we get enough people here, say we have 20 people, I want to do a Zoom call with everybody.
Okay, well, you're going to call individually.
I will call everybody individually. I'm going to call
everyone who signs up tonight will get a personal call from
me, and then also we want to do a
Bruce can get a personal call anytime.
All right, do I know Bruce?
You know Bruce.
Okay, so what we want to do is also a Zoom call so I can see everybody.
Fantastic.
I'll do personal, and it's only for people who sign up. I know we do Zoom calls all the time, but we want to have a special Zoom call.
We'll have weekly special Zoom calls for the members.
I like that.
Okay. That is fantastic. Thank you, folks, all of you, for joining. And we are certainly going to make it well worth your investment.
Yes.
We have a first question of the evening is
gastroparesis
from Pam. Yes. Granddaughter 22.
Yeah.
What longevity?
Do you know what gastroparesis is?
I can imagine it's a problem with the stomach. But
you imagine it correctly. It's very, very awful.
But hold on a second. My situation with her question, is you please refocus her, because her question is, what longevity can she take? And that, to me, is not the question.
That's not the question. Gastroparesis is an awful, awful, awful thing. In fact, it's hard to say what the most awful thing to go wrong with, but digestion, You know, I have this little prayer I say every morning: Dear Lord, thank you for not making me nauseous. You know, just being nauseous will throw you off your game big time, right? I mean, there's so many horrible things that happen with the digestive system. Anyway, gastroparesis is when the stomach doesn't empty.
Ooh.
It's awful. There's no blockage. The motor's not working.
That sounds like a vitamin B1 problem.
It could definitely be a vitamin B1 problem, absolutely. But usually it has to do with the wrong kind of food. And it also has to do with a damage to the nerve that controls the stomach, and that's the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the wandering nerve. It's Dr. Wallach. I think Dr. Wallach called it 12th cranial nerve. I forgot what number it was.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the vagus nerve. That's the one that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest nervous system. So inflammation or damage or some kind of disruption at the vagus nerve, I'd want to know what else she has going on. Nobody just has gastroparesis. So look to problem foods. If she's only 22, sometimes Parkinson's can do it. But if she's only 22 and she has, I'd want to know what else is going on. There's no longevity products directly for gastroparesis, but she needs the Mighty 90 essential nutrients for sure.
Pam,
she's not absorbing her nutrients.
Pam, you can click the link that I just put in the chat. Click that link and you can join us and ask your question. If anybody else has a question, please put it in the chat because we know folks like to ask questions towards the end of the show. So, Pharmacist Ben, so generally speaking, besides the Mighty 90, what strategies would someone...
Food diary, and see when the problem gets worse. Low fat or reduced fat if she's eating a lot of fatty food. Fat slows down stomach emptying. But I'd want to see what's going on with other health challenges. I wouldn't... You can't really, aside from food diary, eliminating problems, foods, working on the digestive system there, I'd want to know what else is going on. And look, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. If you have a can, remember Bob Ross, right? Did we ever talk about Bob Ross?
Never heard Bob Ross from you, ever. Okay. Not once.
Okay, well, let me tell you
that. Especially not any of the modules we made.
Are you kidding me or no?
Yeah,
I can't tell if you're kidding me. Oh, you know about Bob Ross. So Bob Ross had a canvas, put one dot in the middle of the canvas. All right, it's a dot, big deal. What's that supposed to be? Another dot. All right, got two dots. Three dot, boom, a river. Fourth dot, boom, a mountain. Sixth dot, boom, trees. Seventh dot, landscape, boom, 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 boom. With dots. Pictures emerge with dots, data points, sample points. You need data points, you need sample points. Gastroparesis, that's a dot in the middle of the canvas. That's just a dot. I can't help you with a dot. I need to hear other things. I need to at least triangulate. The more the merrier, but at least triangulate. And that's how you they find you. And if they triangulate you with cell phone towers, that's how you do navigation. It's all triangulation. So you need to have multiple data points to really do this thing right. However, gastroparesis typically involves food in the stomach, sometimes inflammation at the level of as I mentioned, damage or inflammation at the vagus level of the vagus nerve, and that's part of metabolic syndrome. So I'd want to know what else is going on before I can tell you. But if I had to just say this with one dot in the middle, I'd say do a food diary, eliminate problem foods, see if you notice a difference, and stay away from foods that slow down stomach emptying, like fat, if she's eating a lot of fatty foods.
Okay, just real quick, gastro to me sounds like stomach. Paresis sounds like
paralyzed. Like paralyzed.
You gotta stop.
Did you ever eat too much food? Did you ever eat too much food and you're just like, it's a miserable feeling? That's what those people feel like when they have gastroparesis.
All the time?
All the time.
And
they don't empty. The stomach is just full.
Okay, and then they take Senna. Does that help them?
No, that'll help you with the intestinal level. At the intestinal level, that'll help you propel stuff through. But you were very, no surprise. You understand niacin, or I'm sorry, thiamine. You understand vitamin B1, and so thiamine would be something that I would try. Vitamin B1 or Beyond Tangy Tangerine, of course, is loaded with thiamine. Thiamine is it is to me, I don't want to say it's my favorite. It's one of my favorites for sure, but it's so underappreciated for what it is, and for what it does, because it's your nerves. Everything's nerves. Berry. I can't. Without thiamine or subdosing on thiamine, that's another thing we did our module on, how you have to have the right, you have to have generous doses of these things. Subdosing and going by the RDA is subdosing on thiamine. It's one of the worst because it's so darn important. Is a recipe for all kinds of neural issues, from the brain to the migrating motor complex, that the propulsion of food, to the stomach, to the peripheral neuropathy, the extremities. It's just so darn important, and nobody ever talks about it. And it's considered to be one of those that you just get from a multivitamin, and you need 100 times the dose, or not quite that much, but you need probably 50 times the dose. You need like grams of this stuff. Maybe not 50, but you need like grams of it, of thiamine, in my opinion, if you want to do it right, especially if you have a health problem. And they're telling you 100 milligrams.
Okay, so
and by the way, if you go out drinking, when I haven't drank alcohol in a long time, but when I did drink alcohol, I would bring thiamine with me. And a few other things. And in the middle of the night, you better believe it, I'd pop open my pills, anti-hangover. Okay. I've had alcohol for a long time, since before COVID.
Okay, so Pharmacist Ben, in beyond Tangy Tangerine, there is 3,200 micrograms, which is 356% of the daily recommended daily allowance.
I would take more. That's a lot, though. That's one of the most important benefits of beyond Tangy Tangerine, in my opinion, is the thiamine content. There's a lot of benefit. It's hard to pin down why this stuff's so amazing, because it is amazing. Listen, people, I'm telling
you. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry. What? There's 30 milligrams, which is 2,500% of the RDA.
That's that's what we're talking about. That's the kind of doses you need. It's water soluble. You pee it out. That's why you want to drink this slowly. Listen, I don't know if there's any new people on this call. This stuff is ridiculous. If you're not, this is the most amazing supplement. This stuff's amazing. What's that? Yeah, you're doing this all glitching out on you there.
BTT, beyond Tangerine is.
Dude, I'm telling you. I am telling you. I used to, I know I said this before, but I'll say it again. I used to give it to my dad in the nursing home, and it was like I could see like color, and I could see him like he was still demented, but but he was better, way better when he had his beyond Tangy Tangerine. Bring it to the nursing home. Bring it to older people especially. Yes, for hangovers. Absolutely. Oh, that's Victor. Hey, Victor.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Victor.
Okay, we got tons of questions, so let's try and go a little quickly, if possible. Just
rapid fire.
Caprice, you are much better for it because of what you are doing for yourself. And I hope you are telling all of your friends to do the same.
What are you saying? Don't hold out on us. What are you reading?
It's on the screen. Caprice is saying, I have used BTT for 10 plus years.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
Yes. And Cheryl, I believe is our friend Cheryl from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Says, what causes SVT and how should it be treated?
All right. So SVT is...
tachycardia?
Tachycardia, exactly. Of the supraventricular. It's technically called supraventricular. It's an electrical malfunction above the ventricles. The ventricles are the lower chambers. You have the atria and the ventricles, right? Ventricles are the bottom, the lower chambers, and there's an electrical malfunction. Look, how the heart beats is so amazing. We're just talking about how amazing cells were, right? Guess what makes hearts beat?
Electricity.
Yes, but it's not just electricity. You can't just stick your finger in a light socket. What is it that makes the heart, that does it, that channels all that electricity? Cells.
Okay.
Cells are doing it. But these cells are specialized. They're not no ordinary cells. They're special cells that are like electrical batteries that are especially conductive. And it's not all. There's clumps of them. That act like a clock. They're synced. So you get a wave. It's ridiculous. This is absolutely crazy. You get waves of electricity because they go. It's like the wave at Shea Stadium or whatever, the City Field. You know the wave. You go and then you sit down. They go and then you sit. And then the big picture. There's a big wave. That's how it goes. It's like a wave. And all of this is so coordinated, and it requires everything to be just so. If they're making computer chips in a factory, they wear hazmat suits, so a little speck of dust doesn't get on the chip. Well, what happens when you have these heart cells and they're all distorted and the membranes are all tweaked and you're getting the wrong fats and you got sugar damage and all? It throws everything off. So supraventricular cardia is a sign that the heart is not getting energized appropriately. It's a heart energy thing. Where is energy delivered? Especially to the heart. But where's energy delivered? What is a delivery source for energy? The blood. The blood. It's a blood issue. So you got to work in the blood. The blood's not getting enough oxygen. The heart's not getting enough oxygen. Probably not in the blood. The blood's sluggish. The blood's got toxicity in it. The blood, there's malnourishment. Listen, it's all the same thing. So for this person, for supraventricular tachycardia or arrhythmias or what's the atrial fibrillation, all basically the same thing. They want you to think it's all different. It's not different. It's the same stuff. The electrical circuitry is malfunctioning because tissue's distorted. So for supraventricular tachycardia, it's very serious, by the way. It's nothing you want to mess around with. You want to start activating your relaxation nervous system, the vagus nerve. Anything you could do for the vagus nerve. Slow, deep, rhythmic breathing, warm baths, massage, foot rubs. Here's a couple of really cool ways to activate the vagus nerve. Hum. You know how they go, om, all that activates the vagus nerve. Also, there's on the top of your tongue, on the top of your mouth, right where the soft palate meets the hard palate, touch that with your tongue. Where the hot, can you feel that? Where the hard palate meets the soft palate? Press in there, that activates the vagus nerve. Just pressing in there will activate the vagus nerve, the relaxation response. There's all kinds of weird little tricks, weird little hacks to activate the vagus nerve. Yes, sir.
Okay, I got to just add to what you said. What do you think of just a one-word answer?
I didn't get to the supplements, but go ahead.
Okay, go for the supplements.
Healthy Brain Heart Pack. Healthy Brain. I would probably throw in the Ultimate Niacin. Anytime you have a heart issue, Ultimate Niacin, and then I would also throw in probably the zinc of CFX.
Extra vitamin C.
Extra vitamin C.
Why?
Vitamin C is the quintessential cardiac supplement. It is the quintessential. They're all important. I don't want to isolate them, but there's a guy named Dr. Matthias Rath, who is, I don't know if he's still alive, but he used to write about vitamin C. He wrote a book called Why Animals Don't Get Heart Attacks. And the reason they don't get heart attacks, according to him, is they make their own vitamin C. Yeah. Okay. Now there are some animals. It's a little exaggeration. Some animals do get heart attacks, but for the most part, heart attacks happen to humans.
Okay. So, Pharmacist Ben, so just a one-word answer so I can finish my thought. What is your thought of getting tachycardia from a nerve being squeezed?
Yeah, you could. That could happen. I mean, like mechanically or inflammatory?
Mechanically or inflammatory.
Yeah, I don't like the mechanical model so much. But yeah, I suppose that could happen. Okay. I talked to a lady on Friday, and she has scoliosis, and now she's having problems breathing, and they couldn't find anything. First they wanted said emphysema, then COPD, but they couldn't really find anything. But she has scoliosis. Well, when you have scoliosis, everything contracts, right? So it's her lungs aren't able to expand. So sometimes mechanics can play a role, but So the whole, Doc used to say osteoporosis of the skull, that whole thing.
So the osteoporosis of the skull, the first question.
I'm not going to ever second guess Doc. Okay, I'm not equipped to second guess Doc. Okay. So I'm not going to say that. But I like working metabolically a little bit better, a little bit more.
But I also ask people, if they have any back issues. If
Yeah.
you've got back pain,
Yeah.
something could be being squeezed between up
Absolutely.
here and down
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah, and that's why, chiropractic gets a bad, the quacks, they call them quacks and this and that. They're not quacks. They're just, that's how they work. They work with the spine. They work with the vertebrae. They adjust the vertebrae and adjust the spine to work on the nerves, which affect all the organs. And that is a very, very valid, not quack theory in science. And I love chiropractors, or I love chiropractic. There's quacks everywhere, but I love chiropractic and osteopathy for that matter. How many CFX? I think they're how many were they? 100 milligrams? 100 or 200 milligrams. You can take as many as you want. You can take the whole bottle. There's no downside to CFX. If you take too much vitamin C, you get crampy. If you take really too much, you might get some diarrhea. But really, you have to take a lot for any of that to happen.
So in CFX, there is vitamin C, 500 milligrams, 833% of your daily value. There's some calcium, 50 milligrams, which is 5% of your daily value. There is echinacea herb and echinacea root.
Very good. I would take 2 or 3 a day CFX.
Okay, so now back to our questions.
Yes.
Let's take an easy one. Dylan, when I use a full dose of Osteo-fx spread throughout the day, I get a very dry mouth. I'm using half dose and add on 100 to 200 milligrams more magnesium.
I don't know how that would happen. I can't. Oh, I see that he says throughout the day. Yeah, because it's chalky a little bit. Then it kind of has that dry. I don't know. Does it last the dry? It shouldn't last. If your dry mouth is lasting a while, that's a whole nother issue. It is a little chalky tasting kind of, so I know what he's saying. But if it lasts, past the time that the stuff's in your mouth, that's another issue.
Can you drink a little extra water?
No, that will help, but I'd be concerned why he has dry mouth though. Yeah, that'll help. But why would he be dry? Dry mouth is typically a sign of some kind of duress. You know how you get dry mouth when you're really nervous or something? Dry mouth is a sign of some sort of duress. So I would be, I would want to know. I'd want to know more. Dry mouth should not happen from the Osteo-fx.
Dylan, tell us more. We have a question from NC Golden. I was diagnosed with metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance.
Listen, she's 72, NC Golden. You ain't got time to waste, gal. Put that up. What are you doing? Oh, same thing?
Second part.
NC Golden. Put that both up there. This is serious. This is going to shorten your life. This is very serious. Even if you were 40 or 50, I would say it's serious. But now it's really serious. Don't be playing around here. What you have to do is you have to, first of all, number one, get on the healthy blood sugar pack immediately. Number two, work on the metabolic syndrome. Go to our protocol. We have protocols for this, right, AJ?
We do. And make sure you email us, NC Golden.
This is serious business. This is no joke. This is no joke, NCC Golden. If she's on the, are we talking to her? Is she on the line? Or is she on?
She's watching on YouTube.
This is no joke. At the age of 72, this is very serious. So yeah, if she says fatty liver years ago, but now you're 72, I encourage you really to take this seriously, because this can cause some very bad stuff to happen down the road. So healthy blood sugar pack, ketogenic diet, low calorie, definitely no insulin spiking foods. The autoimmune problem is connected to this, so don't worry about the autoimmunity. This is your key point right here. Now, remember, this is the second point in the triangle of disease, so there's probably some digestive issues there too. We want to work on those.
Third point.
What's that? And there's the third point. There you go. She's the walking triangle.
Okay.
Is she new? Is NCC Golden new?
NCC Golden is a good friend of the show.
Okay, well, NCC Golden, this is the triangle. You're classic. You didn't mention your adrenals, but you're probably tired all the time. You probably had, if this was going on during your menopause, which you probably did not have a good menopause, right? NCC Golden, is she on the call?
Well, she takes her second to process things, and people don't type as fast as you speak.
Okay.
But so what she should do, the blood sugar pack,
Blood sugar pack, food diary, eliminate problem foods, look for the digestive component. There's a bunch you could do. NCC Golden, the good news is there's tons you could do. Tons. And every one thing you do is going to be in your interest, and you got 100 things you could do. But even if you just do one. And then on the other side of the equation, this is nothing you want to mess around with.
What about fasting? Is that going to help her?
Fasting will definitely help. Absolutely. Anything you could do to keep the blood sugar stable and insulin low. And so when you fast, you get a little hit of blood sugar, for a little bit, but it's better than eating a lot of, the kind of foods we all eat.
NCC Golden, if you've got something to, okay. Yes, I'm gathering. Yes means, what's the yes about? And then she's asking, sweeties or glucogenics?
Sweeties.
Okay.
They're both good. They're both good. Sweeties first, though.
I'm gathering the yes is her menopause was not easy.
Is that what the yes is?
I'm gathering because you asked a couple questions. So we got 3 yeses.
Yes. But yes to what? You can't just say yes. It's a dot in the middle of the canvas.
Okay. Well, but we will help you.
We can definitely help you. The good news is, like I said, every little step you take is going to make a significant difference, and there's 100 steps you could take.
Okay. NC Golden, we will help you if you promise to help one of your friends. That's it. That's the deal.
How do you know NCC Golden?
She's clearly buying
ZRadical
products.
Okay,
and she's on our show every show.
Okay. But she never talked to us.
Well, she does.
First time I've seen her. That's the first time
she makes comments.
Okay.
All right. So let's get to another question. Mary, I do see your question. We will get to it. Mr.
NCC Golden says yes to everything I said. I'm not Psychic Ben. I'm Pharmacist Ben.
With a little Miss Cleo. So Mr. T says, any thoughts on natto, either food or supplement alleged to reduce arterial plaque?
Good stuff. Well, natto is a fermented bean product of some kind. But then when the fermentation process occurs, bacteria make enzymes, one of which is called nattokinase. And nattokinase is amazing. Yes, for arterial plaque, for sticky blood. I actually don't talk about it as much as I should. I'm going to start talking about it more. It's an incredibly valuable supplement, and it's non-toxic, and it's amazing.
Okay, let's back up. Number one, his question is it safe for 70-plus-year-old people as a preventative?
70, 80, 90, 7, 10, 20. Yes, everybody. It's safe for everybody.
Okay. So now the second question I have is, what would you suggest for someone to reduce arterial plaque? You're not telling Mr. T or anyone else to just go buy a bottle of nattokinase. And first of all, if we were to suggest you use nattokinase, we would talk about the Ultimate Niacin Plus, and we would talk about the Nightly Essence, because these are products.
There's so many different things you could do for blockages. But in the immediate short term, I would do plant-derived minerals and zeolites and bentonites and those kinds of things. But it's really not a short-term issue. It's a long-term issue.
Why would someone have plaques?
Are you asking because you know good and well?
Well,
plaques are scabs. Plaques are scabs. So yeah, okay. So that's a good question. Well, let's talk about that. So you have the arteries, right? The arteries go. The heart pumps the blood and it goes into the arteries and it goes spread throughout the body, right? At the top near the heart, you have lots of action, lots of pressure. When the arteries and the vascular system, which is made up of connective tissue, becomes weakened from a combination of the pressure and lack of nutrition and dirty blood and all the things we do, all the things we talk about, you can start to get damage to that lining. When the lining gets damaged, it does one of the most incredible things the body does. I mean, we've been talking about all the incredible things of the body, but this is another one of the most incredible things the body does.
I think I'm going to call it. I'm going to call your thing the Church of Pharmacists Ben.
It could be. This is church, man. I mean, are you feeling it? Are you feeling the Holy Spirit here? Come on, praise the Lord, praise God.
That's right.
I mean, I can't not be spiritual. No, I don't know how any true scientist cannot be spiritual. It's just so amazing. So anyway, when the tissue's damaged, it calls for help. It sends signals out, and it recruits cells, immune cells, and cholesterol and calcium. It protects itself. I sometimes think the body is this kind of like this science fiction thing from like 10 centuries ahead of us that somehow through a time machine came back somehow because it's that advanced. It's so incredible. It calls for help. The help is there to facilitate, to protect, to facilitate a healthy tissue. It's a scab. And so that scab is, we call it a blockage because it acts like a blockage, but it's there for a reason. So what does the medical model do? Because the medical model, they're not chemists. They're not, the drug companies are medicinal chemists, but the doctors certainly aren't chemists. They say, let's just stop the scab. We won't have a scab. But that's not the right answer. The right answer is let's strengthen the collagen and the connective tissue and the vasculature, and let's clean the blood. That's the right answer.
Which is why taking natto on its own is not the answer, Mr. T.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah, and you can also take the ultimate enzymes too. That'll help too, but that's not the answer, like you just said. The answer is it's MBFA. That's a person with MBFA because you don't just have deteriorating connective tissue in the arteries. You have it everywhere. The connective tissue is a system. It's worse in the arteries because of all that, the dirty blood and the pressure and stuff and such. But usually there's other things going on. That's why you'll go crazy trying to, whack-a-mole. You go crazy trying to put like the little boy with his finger in the dike. That's not how you do it. You go upstream to the root. You take care of it at the root level, and then the body does everything else. The root is the blood, the triangle of disease. That's the root. The triangle of disease and the blood. And the blood is actually the vector for the triangle of disease. If it weren't for the blood, the triangle of disease wouldn't be a problem. The reason the triangle of disease is an issue is because you got dirty blood from the digestive system and glycated blood and insulin from the metabolic system. It's all about the blood, really. So it's the triangle of disease, and the carrier is the blood.
Okay, so our friend Nancy is asking a question. I take nerve product that contains Ben.
I'm a fan of benfotiamine. They named it after me.
Benfotiamine.
They heard me talking about thiamine, and they decided they were going to name one after me, and it's called benfotiamine. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing.
Ben is photiamine.
No, I'm kidding. You can call that. Could be my middle name, benfotiamine. Now listen, you guys. Thiamine's amazing, but it's water soluble, so it has a little bit of. It doesn't necessarily. It's harder for it to get into cells where it does its work, and then also, you urinate it out. Benfotiamine is a fatty version of thiamine, so it's much more potent. And 600 milligrams of benfotiamine is a good dose. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't like necessarily taking products in isolation, but Nancy, let me know if that product is helping you.
I'm not a big believer in taking isolation either, but benfotiamine at 600 milligrams is almost like a drug. It has like almost non-toxic, of course, but it has pharmacological properties. Sometimes high doses of nutrients cross the line from nutrition into pharmacology. They have pharmacological kinds of effects, really powerful medicinal effects. Usually nutrients, they're like mom's apple pie. They support, they nurture. But you can go into pharmacological effects with high doses of vitamin C and high doses of benfotiamine and high doses of melatonin, high doses of certain things that you wouldn't ordinarily take high doses of. So at 600 milligrams, you're approaching pharmacological thiamine.
Okay, Barbara, the offer for Ben's Academy is still open. It is, we have a discount this week and this week only, and we have a 24-hour discount, and we will just show you next 24 hours. You can have it for $5 a month, and there is a $50 a month, a $50 a year option that's offered right now, only for the next 24 hours, maybe less, but within 24 hours that will change. And for the end of the week, it will be less than our normal price, which will be $20 a month, but it will be $10 a month after Friday, at least $10 a month after tonight, after the 24 hours. So it will be $10 a month for the rest of the week, and then after Friday, it will go, when it's open to the vast public. When we start marketing it,
The vast public.
it will be $20 a month, and you can see the different modules that have been built in here. And we keep getting members as we're talking, and we can see the first principle, and we look in here. First principle.
So let's dive deep into the very foundation of how we must view the human.
Okay, so that is just a taste of
what is that? Which module was that?
That was module 1.
And what was the title?
The title of that module is the first principle of healing.
Where you see the problem, is not where the problem begins.
Correct. All right. So now back to our questions.
Take two more. Take 2 more questions.
Pharmacist Ben, we got a ton of questions.
We got to come. That's why we have the Academy.
That is true. I'm going to take important ones, and I promised Mary I'd get her question.
Two of them.
What is your suggestion for kidney problems? I'm in my late 70s, weigh 110
pounds. First of all, don't be playing with the kidney. And if you're 70, if you're in your late 70s and weigh 110 pounds, there might be something going on here. You didn't say how tall you were, but I'm assuming you're thin. So here's the issue. Kidneys are your blood's filter. And the way the filtering system works is incredibly tiny blood vessels that are much thinner than a human hair. Can you imagine this? A blood vessel that's thinner than a human hair? I mean, can you even conceive of that, right? Are wrapped around countless times in the kidneys. And that's how the blood gets filtered as it enters into these capillaries. These capillaries are very easy to damage when you have dirty blood, especially sugar dirty blood, glycated dirty blood, but all kinds of dirty blood. Clean the blood. The next question is, and this is very important, how do you clean the blood? And we should be writing all these these should all be great modules, by the way. How do you clean the blood? First of all, you stop the bad stuff from getting in the blood. That's first of all. The bad stuff is sugar and leaky gut. So you work on digestion and the blood sugar, first 2 points in the triangle of disease. For our friend here, healthy blood sugar pack. I don't care if they diagnose you as such, treat yourself like a diabetic. That's first of all, healthy blood sugar pack. Secondly, look for your problem foods. Food diary, look for the problem foods. We've got a food diary at rootnotfruit.com. So you do food diary. And then a healthy blood sugar pack. And then if you really want to go all out and you really want to clean up the blood, there's nothing, well, among them, of all the blood detoxifying supplements that we sell, nothing beats the plant-derived minerals. So start using your plant-derived minerals. Do you know all the miraculous reports we get from people who are just on the plant-derived minerals? Not even the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, just the plant-derived minerals. That's because the minerals are incredibly pleiotropic. That means in biochemistry, they have multiple benefits. They facilitate electrical activity. They work at the level of the cell to allow the cells to pass electrical energy efficiently across the membrane, which is a whole other thing I don't want to really get into, but they facilitate electrical energy within tissues and within cells. They detoxify the blood. They're among nature's best. They may be nature's best blood detoxifier. Just plain old plant-derived minerals. And then also, of course, anything you could do to protect the collagen, the connective tissue, and the capillaries and the vessels is going to help. So if you want to throw some other stuff in there, collagen peptides, FucoidZ. FucoidZ is another very underappreciated longevity product. FucoidZ, Ultimate MSM. There's lots of things you can do, but food and sugar is the most important. healthy blood sugar pack, food diary, and eliminate problem foods. And then if you notice that you didn't say anything about digestive issues, but if you notice you have digestive issues, then we can help you with some digestive supplements. I would pretty much assume that you have some digestive stuff going on.
Okay, Pharmacist Ben, I'm going to squeeze in 2 more questions.
Okay, 2 more.
What is the best way to clean veggies?
Dilute hydrogen peroxide.
Food grade or just regular?
Food grade, but dilute. You don't want to eat diluted it. That's probably the best way.
What is the cause of vitiligo?
Vitiligo is an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune diseases are when the body attacks different cells. If you have multiple sclerosis, the immune system's attacking the nerve cells or the sheath. If you have type 1 diabetes, the immune system's attacking the pancreas, the beta cells. If you have psoriasis, the immune system is attacking the skin cells. If you have rheumatoid arthritis, it's attacking the joint cells. In the case of vitiligo, it's attacking the pigment cells. But it doesn't matter which cells. That's irrelevant. Let's say it again. It's irrelevant whether it's attacking the joints, the nerves, the skin, the cells, the pigment cells, the pancreas. It doesn't matter. That is a red herring. You know what a red herring is when they have you chasing something? It's a red herring. You want to figure out why are the cells distorted, whether it's in the skin or whether it's in the pancreas or whether it's in the joints or whether it's in the nerves, wherever it is. Why are the cells distorted? They're distorted because of dirty blood. Fix the blood. Everybody, and I'm not saying 99.99%, I'm saying everybody who has an autoimmune disease has dirty blood. And how does the dirty blood, how do you end up with dirty blood? Dirty blood is a sign of digestive and sugar toxicity. That's dirty blood.
So that's all autoimmune.
All of them.
Vitiligo.
All of them. Read the Walls protocol. Dr. Terry Walls, medical doctor. She was in a wheelchair, multiple sclerosis. She just did exactly, she listened to Pharmacist Ben because I was talking about it before she wrote the book. Right? She did everything I said. And she wrote a book about it. Out of the wheelchair, she's a normal person. And she was going to be in the wheelchair the rest of her life.
Pharmacist Ben, when I walk through New York City, I see people walking with the skis. I see them on the cane. They could barely walk. And I want to reach out and hug them and talk to them.
I want to give them beyond Tangerine, just hand it to them. I want to stand on the corner in New York City with all those folks and hand out BTT.
One day.
That'll be what we do.
Pharmacist Ben, how do I get rid of calcification in my body?
Calcification is the way the body protects itself. It's a sign of deterioration of tissue. It's MBFA. MBFA is your body's just falling apart. You don't get rid of calcification. You build the body. You strengthen the body. Healthy bone and joint pack. If there's anything interfering with the anabolic process, i.e. digestion, metabolic syndrome, you do that. Listen, it's the same stuff. Over and over again, it's the same stuff, you guys. It's basic. It's not, don't be deluded. What is the number one disease smart people suffer from?
Overthinkitis.
Overthinkitis. Don't overthink. This is not complicated. It's not easy because you got to change your life, but it's not complicated. Complicated. If you can't explain how this thing works to a kindergarten kid, you don't understand yourself. And if your doctor can't explain what's going wrong with your body to any, to an uneducated layperson or I don't mean uneducated, but a layperson, they don't understand themselves.
Tiana, Kenya, I cannot.
Well, how is our girls doing? How are they doing?
They're doing well. They have a question.
I don't want to know they're doing well. I want to know about Kiana. I want to know how she's doing specifically.
Kiana's got to call me back. She owes me a phone call back. Okay. NC Golden, Kiana, Kenya. We can't answer this on the show right now.
Which one?
What causes yellow conjunctivitis in the eyes? How do I get rid of it?
It's bacterial. The yellow discharge is a sign of like a bacterial infection, staph infection. Strep.
You need to text me. I'll tell you what to do about it.
Yeah, that's an infection. I would never play around with an eye infection. These things here, these miraculous things, whatever the heck they are, I don't even understand them myself. You know how that whole thing works. More amazingness. More amazing. It's the eyes.
We're changing the name of the show to the Church of Ben Fuchs.
Praise Jesus. I'm all about it.
We will be doing that for next show.
I'm all
because
about it.
he is in awe of the vessel that we call the body. And I am in awe of you, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I'm really honored to have bumped into a guy who's embraced me the way you have, who's so knowledgeable.
Dude, you are. I don't say, when I say those things about you, I ain't blowing smoke.
Yeah,
you are one sharp dude, man.
Yeah, well,
one sharp cookie.
You know what? And you know what? We got one sharp audience, and we appreciate all of you. And if you want to be really, really sharp, email us at questions@dailywithdoc.com. Don't forget, Pharmacist Ben will be on Daily with Doc this Friday. And if you can tune in Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have fantastic shows to help you as well. Thank you, Pharmacist Ben. Thank you,
AJ. Thank you, everybody.
And we will see all of you later.
Walk into any modern hospital and you're entering a system built on categorization. The International Classification of Diseases, or ICD Codebook, currently catalogs over 55,000 distinct diseases and symptoms, each assigned to highly compartmentalized specialists. We engineered a model treating organs in isolation. Focusing on downstream symptoms, specialists overlook biological drivers in the trunk. Tracking 55,000 outcomes to the cellular level, markers converge. These diverse diagnoses are manifestations of 3 failure nodes: digestion, blood sugar, and adrenals. Pharmacist Ben Fuchs identifies this systemic breakdown as MBFA, my body is falling apart disease. It is a unifying concept that describes a state where multiple systems fail simultaneously because the cellular environment has shifted. Under this model, chronic illness represents the logical result of a cell starved of nutrients, suffocated by lack of oxygen, and saturated with toxins. The triangle of disease framework acknowledges that while symptoms are unique, the body breaks down in generic, predictable ways. The first node is the digestive system. This functions as the body's soil, the primary entry point where the outside world meets the internal bloodstream. The second node is the blood sugar system. This metabolic engine determines how every cell in the body receives and processes fuel. Finally, the adrenal-thyroid complex serves as the energy and stress regulation hub. When the first 2 nodes fail, this system bears the load, acting as the jumping-off point for overt degenerative disease. Reversing these conditions requires shifting focus from symptom management to mastering the biochemical pipeline, the gut, the blood, and the liver. The intestinal lining acts as a highly selective border. In a healthy state, it keeps environmental toxins out while absorbing microscopic nutrients. Modern inflammatory diets destroy the tight junctions of this barrier. This structural collapse creates leaky gut, opening the gates to the bloodstream. Highly inflammatory invaders breach the wall. Lipopolysaccharides, endotoxins, and undigested proteins flood directly into the red bloodstream. This breach is accelerated by dysglycemia. Elevated blood sugar triggers glycation, a process where sugar acts as a caustic agent, caramelizing and burning the microscopic blood vessels from the inside. The combination of a compromised gut and caustic blood sugar creates a daily stream of toxicity flowing directly into the body's primary transport system. When these foreign particles enter the blood, the body mounts an immediate defense to isolate them. This creates a condition Ben Fuchs calls dirty blood. To protect vital organs, white blood cells aggressively swarm and clump around this toxic debris. These resulting clusters are circulating immune complexes, or CICs. As they accumulate, the blood becomes thick, viscous, and hypercoagulable. Sludgy, dirty blood cannot navigate the microscopic capillaries that feed your cells. This results in systemic suffocation, as peripheral tissues are deprived of oxygen and nutrients. In a desperate triage move to protect the heart and brain, the body dumps these toxic complexes into the peripheral connective tissues, such as the joints and the skin. This reveals the autoimmune illusion. In conditions like rheumatoid arthritis or lupus, the immune system is mounting a logical defense against tissues that have become toxic dumping grounds. While the body is 2/3 water, it maintains rigid structure and doesn't slosh like a puddle. Our internal water exists in a coherent gel state, organized into a crystalline lattice by collagen and ionic minerals. This zeta potential matrix allows instantaneous cellular communication. But when dirty blood dumps acidic toxins here, the charge neutralizes and the matrix collapses into disorganized fluid. The physical experience of chronic pain and blobification is the literal loss of electrical coherence in the cellular matrix. The liver is the primary organ tasked with clearing this systemic debris, but clinical detoxification is a rigid two-phase biochemical sequence. In phase 1 enzymatic induction, liver enzymes oxidize toxins, creating intermediate metabolites temporarily more toxic than the originals. Phase 2 conjugation requires sulfur and amino acids to neutralize them. If depleted, the bottleneck forces dangerous metabolites back into the bloodstream, triggering severe systemic distress. Inducing phase 1 via crash diets without providing phase 2 substrates creates an internal chemical fire. This explains why many patients feel a worsening of symptoms when they attempt to heal without a biochemical strategy. A broken internal environment cannot be rebuilt with symptom suppressors. The reversal protocol begins with physiological triage. The first step in healing is stopping the intake of toxins. This is achieved through a 24 to 48-hour water fast. Fasting removes the massive energetic burden of digestion. This energy is redirected to cellular cleanup, immune resetting, and the repair of the intestinal barrier. However, chronic stress keeps the body locked in a sympathetic fight-or-flight state. When the body perceives danger, it shuts down all digestive and healing pathways to focus on survival. You must mechanically shift the nervous system into a parasympathetic state. Using tools like diaphragmatic breathing and psychological grounding signals safety to the cells, allowing healing to resume. You cannot out-supplement a chronic state of panic. Strict elimination of dietary triggers and the establishment of physiological safety are the prerequisites for systemic repair. Once toxicity is stopped, the body requires cellular saturation. The human body needs 90 essential nutrients daily to fuel the billions of chemical reactions occurring every second. Plant-derived colloidal minerals act natural chelating agents. They pull toxins from the blood and help restore the electrical zeta potential of the gel matrix. Structural repair involves physically patching the intestinal barrier. This requires connective tissue builders like collagen peptides, vitamin C, and brown algae extracts like FucoidZ. To resolve the liver bottleneck, you must provide sulfur, selenium, and amino acids. This ensures phase 2 detoxification can neutralize reactive waste into water-soluble excretions. When the body is finally given the correct raw materials, the structural matrix begins smoothly knitting back together. The body adapts its internal chemistry to the raw materials provided. By transitioning from battling symptoms to engineering a pristine biochemical environment, rapid and systemic healing is the logical outcome.